Mesdames, Messieurs,
Ladies and gentlemen at the back of the room, if you'd like to please join us to be seated, the head of the government and the official.
Monsieur le chef du gouvernement,
Your Excellency, the head of the government, ladies and gentlemen, members of the government, dear friends, entrepreneurs, welcome to this third edition of the National Industry Day under the high patronage of His Majesty King Mohammed VI. May God assist and passion and imagination, and as well as perseverance meet action. You are almost 1,000 in this room, representing companies, executive committee members, thinkers and innovators. I would like you to join your hands together for this beautiful National Industry Day that we shall begin today. And we shall not only immortalize these energies, but we shall liberate initiatives and talk about projections, because for us in Morocco, it's more about projections. And I would like to invite you to discover this short institutional movie to kickstart the debate from today.
C'est l'histoire d'un pays qui croit en ses rêves. Un pays où les montagnes, le désert et l'océan appellent à une même ambition: se dépasser. Cette ambition, c'est celle que porte avec clairvoyance la vision de Sa Majesté le roi Mohammed VI, que Dieu l'assiste. Une vision qui trace la voie d'un Maroc tourné vers l'avenir, qui fait sortir de terre des projets audacieux, qui insuffle aux Marocains l'énergie de transformer leur pays. Une vision qui inspire les stratégies ambitieuses grâce auxquelles le Maroc est reconnu comme un modèle de développement économique et social. En un quart de siècle, le Maroc s'est transformé de manière spectaculaire. Aujourd'hui, les routes et les autoroutes sillonnent le pays. L'électrification atteint les villages. Le TGV relie les grands pôles économiques. Des ports connectent le royaume au reste du monde. Des plateformes d'activité voient le jour dans tous les territoires. Ces réalisations sont le socle commun d'un avenir durable, où chaque région, chaque ville, chaque village se voit offrir les outils de son propre destin. Et aussi chaque Marocain, car c'est grâce à son capital humain que le Maroc est devenu ce qu'il est aujourd'hui. Une jeunesse qui cultive son talent dans les écoles, les centres de formation, les universités, pour relever les défis d'un 21e siècle en pleine mutation et se donner les moyens de rêver plus grand. Des femmes et des hommes qui enrichissent leurs compétences pour s'intégrer dans une dynamique collective. Un peuple de plus de 40 millions de Marocains qui croient en leur avenir et s'engagent pour que le monde de demain soit plus beau que celui d'hier. Toute cette énergie, elle fait battre aujourd'hui le cœur industriel du Maroc. Une industrie qui s'est développée sur une ambition: produire ici pour le Maroc et pour le monde. Cette industrie s'impose désormais comme un des piliers de la souveraineté économique du royaume. Elle crée des emplois et de la richesse qui bénéficient à tous les territoires. En faisant de l'innovation son moteur, elle positionne le Maroc au cœur des filières industrielles d'avenir. Et elle élève le royaume au rang d'acteur incontournable dans les chaînes de valeur mondiale de très nombreux secteurs. Grâce à son industrie, le Maroc rayonne sur toute la planète. Aujourd'hui, le Made in Morocco n'est pas qu'un slogan. Il est une réalité, synonyme de qualité, de compétitivité, de durabilité. Parce que l'un des grands défis de l'industrie n'est pas de produire plus, mais de produire mieux. Le Made in Morocco est aussi une promesse pour les générations futures. Celle de continuer à croire en ses rêves.
Mesdames, Messieurs,
ladies and gentlemen, the quote that you've seen on the speech from His Majesty King Mohammed VI obliges us in this solemn day to be more inclusive towards the youth. And so after the short film we've seen, I would like you to invite to welcome to the scene the head of the government. It is up to you, sir, for the opening ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, the ministers, Mr. President of CGEM Morocco, ladies and gentlemen, heads, executive directors, general secretaries, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to open the ceremony for the third edition of the National Industry Day under the high patronage of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, which is an opportunity to valorize everything we've gained and to discuss the challenges that the industry is facing. As you all know, His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, pays close attention to this vital sector as one of the essential levers towards building a stronger, more open and diverse economy in order to bolster the position of our kingdom to be among the emerging countries in order to represent sustainable development on all aspects, whether social, economical, or environmental. His Majesty King Mohammed VI has always led the sectors that are accompanied by an advanced infrastructure such as the Tangier Med Port with over 800 square kilometers for the automotive sector and 57 factories, as well as over 1,400 real estate locations for the industry, on top of all of the attention given to the aerospace sector, as well as the inauguration of the high-speed railway system between Casablanca, Marrakesh, and the continuous development of the manufacturing sectors in the automotive and the aerospace. Morocco has also witnessed many drastic reforms that incite and invite for more investment and prosperity. The government has also activated the new model for the industry, especially when it comes to the support given to the very small and medium enterprises. The government has also worked on the activation of all of the efforts related to the improvement of the Agenda 2026-2030 in order to support all of the competition and the appropriate environment for entrepreneurship and innovation. And among all of the drastic reforms made, the decrease of the deadline payments has also been activated, on top of the reform for the infrastructure of procurement as the foundation for the industry sector, as well as a motive for promising projects and deals. The government has also applied reforms to the tax system. In parallel to all of this foundational, all these financial reforms, we have also included directly a system for productivity and supporting investment without overlooking the great effort that the government has made in regards to the tax return that has gone over 30 billion dirhams over the last 2 years to preserve its activities and to provide it with the liquidity necessary to allow it to face crises and to preserve the stability of the job market. And in order to take care of all the volatility of prices in energy that the world has seen in 2022, our country has chosen to look after the stability of these markets for the industry, while many other countries have attained a huge bill when it comes to energy costs, which are heavy on other countries, while we were able to protect the competitivity of our Moroccan enterprises. This choice was made by having the ONEE to take care of 41 billion dirhams between 2022 and 2024, where the government has paid over 17 billion dirhams, and the tax was reformed on the low cost of emissions with about 5% compared to 2022. There was also another bill that was published in order to work on resource scarcity and optimal management by striking conventions and public deals or public procurement deals after the COVID pandemic in order to ensure continuity and ability for competition, as well as resuming all of the contracted agreements under exceptional conditions. And today, we have a right to be proud of what the industry sector is witnessing in regards to positive dynamism, thanks to the directives of His Majesty, where the added value of the non-agricultural activities have increased by 4.5% in 2024 compared to 3.7% in 2023. And so this improvement has reflected specifically on the performance of the industry sector, since transformational industry has achieved 3.1 in 2023 with an increase in 2024. And when it comes to the revenues of foreign investments, these foreign investments have achieved for the industry sector over the last 3 years about 35% or over 35% of all revenues, while industry revenues have reached 64% since 2019, going from 340 billion to 389 billion in 2024, leading to an increase in the revenues of the automotive sector, the aerospace sector, the phosphates with all of its derivatives, and the nutritional exports. And so this prosperity is also supported by all exports, representing about 87% of the kingdom's exports. And so these dynamisms have led to 64,000 new job opportunities between 2024 and this year, compared to only 7,000 in the previous years, in order to reach over 985,000 positions, which is about a double compared to what it was 10 years ago. These dynamics and this positive, these good news have really represented the advancement of the Moroccan economy, and it is projected that at the end of this year to achieve 4.8% of prosperity by controlling inflation, starting from this previous month of September, to reach 3.5% of inflation rate, and to decrease debt to 3% by 2026, and reducing these debts to reach about 67.4% of the GDP. Of the GDP. And so we are also working on the economic stability and budget stability by recovering the categorization as part of the investment guide from the agency, from the standards imposed American agency, after the kingdom in 2023 was able to get out of the gray list by consensus of the members of the GAFI, which really reflects the renewed trust in all of the partners and investors, international ones at that, in the foundations of our economy. Ladies and gentlemen, under the directives of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, the national industry inaugurates a new era, making sovereignty a goal and a means, which is why our national industry has seen over the last few years a new prosperity that is gradually increasing, reflected in the dynamism of the Made in Morocco label as a real lever to make our country rise to new levels. And so in these last years, we were able to make significant improvement, especially in sectors that have high added value, such as the automotive sector, the aerospace sector, making the automotive ecosystem the first sector with about 40% of exports for the Moroccan sector, and about the first employer in this regard. And so, for touristic cars, Morocco has become the first exporter, and for a new EVs made in Morocco to be sent to Europe, adding to the added value of the kingdom in parallel with all of these developments, where our country is working on anchoring its position in clean electric mobility by establishing an entire ecosystem related to battery assembly and launching promising projects that really reflect the trust of international partners in the Moroccan automotive sector. And so we have also made significant improvements on exports, involving over 150 partners, with 61% in 2024 compared to 2021. And so this positive trajectory has led to the launch of many new projects, such as the new factory of assembly for airplane engines, inaugurated by His Majesty King Mohammed VI in the 13th of last month. And so on the pharmaceutical sector, we have also established a new advanced factor to make COVID vaccines, in addition to a convention that will be signed aiming to manufacture raw materials in the pharmaceutical sector in Morocco, making our country a powerhouse for international production. And so these dynamic results that are continuously getting better and better make Morocco a true key player in the industry for state-of-the-art technology supply, making Morocco categorized in 2025 as the 12th on the international scale when it comes to industrial productivity with modern technologies, based on the international indicator from the IP organization, as a great advancement for Morocco over the last 5 years. We are aware of the challenges that the Moroccan industry is facing under all of the volatile disturbances that the world has witnessed, and in order to also work on the dynamism of the sector, the government has worked on many initiatives aimed at crystallizing the competitivity and to also anchor the label of Made in Morocco. And so we're also working on establishing more connections with the industrial banks as project holders, with over 900 projects in partnership with the CGEM, that we were able to activate more efforts for research and development to go from research to industrialization. And this is a program that was funded since 2023 with 160 projects that are innovative, full of investments reaching about 852 million dirhams. Morocco is also betting on energy transition in order to head towards a clean energy productivity with less emissions. and to reduce emissions, as well as bolstering our position on the market in order to be able to face competition better throughout the green hydrogen production after Morocco was able to attract the attention of many international stakeholders as part of the directives of His Majesty King Mohammed VI to make us to give us one of the main motives for energy transition and sustainable growth across the kingdom. And before I came here, I was able to meet with Her Excellency the Minister of Energy Transition to sign a convention between the government, the company of Mazen, and ONE to provide green electricity for a cleaner industry in Morocco. And this convention also states that it will provide 105 gigawatts by 2030, God willing. And so we are aware of the importance of labor in Morocco, where the government has established a roadmap for employment. And after we had advisory meetings with CGEM, we were able to work on a full offer for technical support aimed at SMEs, and especially when it comes to supporting exports with low carbon emissions, on top of many other measures, such as the system of gradual training towards vocational training, which will provide for more than 100,000 job opportunities. And we aim to make the industry at the heart of employment. And in this context, we are happy to sign many conventions aiming to support the economic fabric as the main engine towards growth and employment. The works of this event are a great opportunity to share many reflections and thoughts on the development of the industry sector, and to also work on facing current and future challenges to make our country able to bolster and polish its position as a destination for promising industries with strong attractivity for national and international investors. And by that, I wish you all great success on this event, and thank you for your attention.
Merci, Monsieur le Chef du Gouvernement.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency, Head of the Government. And thank you for laying the ground and remind us of the actions taken by the government regarding stability, and also you indulging us in the debates regarding, for example, the convention about 50 gigawatts that will be signed today. So the captain of execution will call someone who works in the line of defense in the industry, and he looks for enterprises and help them. We call Mr. Riyad Mzour. Mr. Riyad Mzour, His Excellency. And then the President of CGM of Morocco. Please give him also a vigorous round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen.
Mesdames, Messieurs, bienvenue à nouveau.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. I'm very delighted to launch this debate between the government and the private sector. The third dimension is what? In the past, with the private sector, we, alongside the public sector, we're side by side. This debate has to be confirmed. Dear Minister, I would like to start with you because it's been 15 days. There was a very important event that's launched in Casablanca under the high patronage of His Majesty King Mohammed the Sixth. May God assist him. Many investments intended, and it tells us about the trajectory of the industry. It's been 20 years that evolved. You from the private sector, and you also worked in the public sector. When we're talking about this this swift industrialization, where do we stand out when it comes to the global sphere? Yeah, thank you very much for this question. I would like to thank you for invitation. I would like to also extend my thanks to Mr. Shakib. I would like to seize the opportunity to congratulate everyone, and I would like to congratulate you on the decision made by the Security Council at the UN, and because we have His Majesty spares no effort in ensuring the full sovereignty on our southern provinces. And so this event has three titles. First, and this is a pride to us all, which is the coronation of the industrial choice, and also the openness of our kingdom to international investments, and also the policy of developing training, and also celebrating the policy of renewable energies. Also, the establishment of policies of working hand in glove between the public sector and the private sector. Also, the structure of sophisticated ports, and also world-class industrial platforms. This is a celebration of 26 years of efforts in order to reach this resolution made by the UN, and also to advance the industry sector in our country. It's an investment that's complex and that benefits the industry. It's a complex goal. For those in the room, we shall say that there's an engine, what we call the nacelle. It's something that's complex. Today, all reactors that are inside and around, and to give you an example, this project by itself could double our exportations when it comes to the aerial industry. Today, we're in a very particular phase. I would like to take an extract from the speech of His Majesty. Quote, Morocco has witnessed an unprecedented industrial leap, especially those related to global professions that will doubled since 2024. Today, we have a new challenge to overcome. First, we're very delighted to have this event held under the high patronage of His Majesty, and thank you very much for your contribution, for your commitment. And I would like to mention that 70% of social capital in the industry is something that's national, and I would like to congratulate you on that. Please. Your Excellency, I would like to seize the opportunity, since you're talking, to remind you about something that's PPP and many enterprises are participating in this industrial day, where we work side by side. Yeah, we do. In order to, and we will work even further throughout the next days or the upcoming days. I would like to also mention, and please allow me to mention something, and I hope that Czechia would do the same. I would like to thank everyone who works day and night to advance the industry and trade in our country, and also for preparing for this event. Thank you, thank you. Thanks to all the teams of the ministry. Thank you. And I would like to also extend my thanks and insist and not only on the good things of this path, but there are many challenges. We have many youth who don't have a job, who are unemployed. We have to work on the productivity of our country, and also to put in place the guidelines and orientations made by His Majesty in terms of decarbonization and many other elements. And we still have to take some steps. There's still a long path ahead of us. Mr. Shakib, we'll move towards you, Mr. Riyad Mzour reminded us and thanked his team, the team who worked for organizing this event, who spent nights and days organizing this event. I would like to talk to you, since you're the head of the CEO of CGM and you're an entrepreneur who worked in many sectors, and we're approaching the end of the year, and many enterprises are working hard to wrap things up. I would like to ask the same question, the same as Mr. Riyad Mzour. You started your own career many years ago. What do you think of the path taken by Morocco in terms of industrialization and the progress made so far? Thank you. I would like to congratulate His Majesty and the Moroccan population for the resolution made by the Security Council, and which recognizes the Moroccanity of the Sahara. And I would like to congratulate you all. I would like to talk about this path because it's very important. I started working in the late 80s, and the industry back then was declining. It was in a decline path because many other fields, for example, the stock market, real estate, have witnessed a rise. And I would like to say that today there are many strides made in terms of the industry, and even if we look at the stock market, we can see many companies who joined, for example, in the food and agriculture section. Over 10 billion dirhams last year of liquidity. If we look at the pharmaceutical area, which covers 70% of the products provided, or of the medications provided and distributed throughout the kingdom. Over 30 billion dirhams made in this field. And if we look at chemistry, many, even electricity, all of these sectors are evolving, and which means that there is a great evolution in terms of the industry and of our country. If we look at in 2025 and the first 8 months, an increase of over 50% in terms of foreign investments in the industry field, and over 80% compared to of increase compared to last year. Of course, the sector which is dominating is the automobile industry, and we see an increase day by day in this field. We are the #1 manufacturer of cars and aero parts in the continent. And as mentioned by my friend, over 15 years, over 15 days now for the event, of the preparations of the event. This is not the fruit. This is not out of the blue. This is the fruit of efforts that were made throughout 26 years of vision and stability that's microeconomic, and also a human capital that's performing and capable. We have many Moroccan skilled individuals who work here in Morocco and abroad in Japan and the US and many other countries. I would like to also thank all the carriers who work in various fields or in various sub sectors in the industry, and this is something that's transversal. Please don't forget to thank the bankers. Even when we talk about service, I would like to thank everybody who provides services. Of course, we can't do it without bankers and without banks, and I would like to thank the team of CGM who helped me throughout the 6 years. Thanks to all the partners of CGM and all the staff. I hope that I answered your question.
Monsieur le Président,
Thank you, Mr. President. While preparing for this discussion, I was told that I may not only ask you questions, but also questions that might make you angry. So let us go into the questions that might drive you angry. So when it comes to private investment in the productive structure of Morocco, Shakib Lalij, who defends the industry, we hear that the big economies are being left, and so these investors are in agro, nutrition, and other sectors that are moving, but not everywhere. So when we hear bad things, it's not just to just hear them, but to also talk to you about them. So I'd like to ask Mr. Marwan to tell us more about this situation in Morocco. Tell us about the Moroccan growth as a true enigma, because it's really faced with public debt, and it is still low. And all economists agree when they say that the alpha and the omega of all of this is based on the strong participation of the private sector in national investment, and the government has also launched as part of its missions to really flip the table when it comes to crossing roads between the public and the private sector. And so, Your Excellency, the Minister, what's happening? So is it really your fault, or is it theirs? Well, let's talk about diagnosis in a sincere manner. When we're talking about 400 billion of investment, and only some of it is from the private investment, it's about the investment in the public projects. But there is private-public partnerships. There are many investments into PPPs, and so it's about 80 billion. And so there is an effort from the private sector that is indeed secured by the state. There are some bonds or securities given in the power purchase agreement or in other terms of systems. But there are many private investments. There are many private investments in order to respond to this need of the state based on all of these endeavors, and in order to also respond to eviction efforts. And we can talk about that with Her Excellency, the Minister of Finance, that I would like to pay tribute to, because she's not one of the colleagues who only said this, but she is among the other colleagues who talked about the fact that all of this is happening. So a second thing is that throughout this entire trajectory, some things happened that were not exactly some things that would encourage private investments to engage in sectors such as this industry. Because as you all know, in the 80s, there was a big campaign of investors leaving the industry. And in the 2000s, there was an entire warming on real estate for investors who moved heavily into it, meaning that they needed to land somewhere and to change the mindset. And for about 4 years now, I remember I was in a plane with the head of government and Her Excellency the Minister, and we were talking about Made in Morocco, and I was in a private conversation with them, and now we are celebrating everything that we see around us, and we are proud of everything that's taken place as a main argument to tell you that it's not exactly how it's happening. There is a change of mindset and a change of heart for operators, investors, and consumers who are proud of consuming Moroccan products. Morocco is really flipping the table, not only in football, but it's also in the investment, the industry, and the Security Council, and this is only the beginning. We are at the top of the mountain, and we're only halfway there. So we are really happy with the generation that is taking the beacon, and we are working on investments for Moroccan investment. So, thank you, everyone. Shakib Lalij, the minister is here, and he can tell you of reminding us on everything that took place in the 80s, etc. All of this has to do with the next question. So, when we talk about made in Morocco, why don't we talk about made by Morocco? So, for this entire cohort that is going to be part of the ecosystem, etc. Is this about access to funding? Is the problem related to obstacles to employment, or are we lagging in technology? How and when can we become able to overcome this obstacle? Thank you very much. Many achievements were made in this regard over the last few years in order to indeed encourage the private sector and achieve more advantages. But there are still many things to be achieved later on, such as professional training, because professional training must be seen despite what's already working. It's the IGDs that work very well, but the professional training must be reconsidered and recalibrated in order to meet the needs of the industrials. Well, there is the investor. Well, I mean, foreign investments, direct foreign investments are. Well, we're talking about these direct investments. They're going into the automotive sector and the aerospace sector. And so such is the case for textile and other sectors. There are some sectors that must have high-skilled workers. And so, well, indeed, we have to stimulate the training system. And, of course, we have identified what needs to be improved, and it's just up to the professional training officials who need to reconsider all of this. I would like to comment on this, but, of course, we'll revert to you, sir, but we have an entire roadmap on what we are doing in order to for all of the pieces of the puzzle to fit in, and we are working on it continuously. As for the direct foreign investments, or DFIs, it's about the basis, and then afterwards we have to have the specific skills in order to add them to these IGDs, or international direct investments. So for these training centers, they are internationally recognized to be high quality, and certain centers, for example, for the aeronautics sector, we have the NISMA, and all of the people who work in this sector go through the training center that is really closely related to the job market and is well aware of what needs to be trained for the workers to be up to date. Indeed, yes. So that's good, but we still need more room for improvement, because we've invested a big budget, and for a country this big, it's important for us to have a high turnover. So by that, I would like to thank you. But what's more important is that R&D must be continuous, and we must include it in the mindset, because for for R&D, what needs to be improvement? Do you need more money for research? Do you need tax breaks as an incentive? Well, this is the opportunity for me to ask. Well, it has to be as part of the mindset, since we have people that are more and more connected to the industry, and so we are rebuilding an industrial fabric that is important, and it has to be part of the mindset in how the R&D must have its own tax breaks, for example, or we have to increase the budget. Well, it's already consumed entirely. Well, whether people know this or not, but we need to communicate. So for CGEM, for you, it's a lack of communication, or what exactly? Indeed, yes. We have already started the talks 2 years ago, and so we are seeing improvement year in year, because both worlds are closer to one another. So do you think this is simple? Well, for this project, things are simple. But generally speaking, we still have lots to discuss. But when it comes to the project on communication, we don't have any problems. Well, for you, we're always talking about the administrative trajectory, etc. For you, what do you think is the gap? Is it between what's written and what's real, or what's the issue? I believe that all people involved here are well aware of administrative issues, because if you are not aware of the administrative issues, just raise your hands. Even I know about these issues. That means that since we are aware of this as a problem, it's a topic that we have to tackle. It's something that we can improve on and move. And so for entrepreneurs, they can focus more on their business, funding, their projects, etc. Well, to reassure them, would you say it's improving? I would say that it's already improved, and we're moving on to the next challenges. So, do you think that private companies are becoming tax collectors for the state? Do you think that this goes in this sense or not? It's essential to mention that since you are an SME, for example, do you have to have a transfer for people who are collecting money on behalf of the state? How does this work? You are moving on to another topic on the law of finance. It's the jugular, really. It's the jugular of the economy. Well, for me, I can't really tell you that I'm speaking on behalf of tax collectors for the state. Well, not at this level, really. It's always been the case. The enterprise has always collected taxes, whether if it was small, big, medium, or big. For me, this is a topic that we should still talk about. We'll talk about it at the right moment. So you are saying extra innovation and extra administrative simplification, more training, and green energy, I would say. I would say that companies must be able to make the jump towards greener energies. And so, since we talked about this, we must have better access to green energies with very affordable prices in order for us to, since we've seen it in the past, in order for us to overcome these problems for the industry. So if we have better access to green energies, we can export at a much easier rate, and we can have competitive prices that would make the Moroccan industry much more dynamic towards exports. In any case, I believe that you have clear thoughts. I would like to turn to you, Mr. Lelish, because this is the perfect segue into talking about innovation. So the special committee report on the new development model had an important part of it devoted to cutting-edge technologies. The Kingdom of Morocco is not the only one to have made the jump to the fourth industrial evolution from blue schools of thought to white ones. We've seen how it's working for the automotive sector, such is the case for Stellantis working with robots, as well as companies with higher productivity. But we still have a lack, as you can see, our colleague from the energy transition, there is a lack of AI, sometimes very artificial intelligence. How are we to prepare for this next jump, and how can we work on the new tribulations that will to work on the way that we can discuss with the big investors on the national playing field. So I would like to give you I would like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to address you all to talk about this new model of development report. And for us, this is an objective for 2030 to achieve 50% in terms of turnover rate for high technologies and modernly high or medium-high technologies. And so I'd like to thank you for this big achievement. We've already achieved the objective before 2030. So you must be proud of yourselves for this great achievement. The second thing is AI today is an opportunity, and for us this is an opportunity that has allowed us to see scary technologies. For about 30 years now, we thought that IT will destroy jobs, and we were at 2.2 billion jobs on Earth. 30 years later, we've reached 3.5 billion jobs on Earth. So this has created an extra 50% employment rate. It's not this isn't the position by position, but it didn't really. When we thought it destroyed things, it instead
qui sont
improved
passés, par exemple.
things and has upgraded jobs. Actually, we went from a secretary receiving a raise to becoming to having her own office, etc. So we were able to augment reality with AI, and we've seen everything that has to do with literature and law. Students were afraid of having access to technical jobs, but now they are powered by AI, and agentic AI is making things a lot easier in this regard when it comes to the work with the Ministry of Energy Transition. So for us, if we are upgrading these skills, things might be easier for many others to have access to certain jobs. And so we've seen this identify agents who are capable of reinforcing our skills. Things are going to happen a lot faster. Well, we're thinking of offshoring, people working at call centers. It's unbelievable. People working in offshoring have already made the jump 4 years ago. So there is work to be done, especially when it comes to regulations in France, and we thought that we would lose about 30,000 jobs, but we created more jobs each year by the month, and so we have about 4% of competitivity per month thanks to AI, and we would work on creating more jobs. So this is about an agile system that is transforming on the go. I understand that there are jobs that are suffering, but more innovative jobs are breathing life every day. So we are doing the maximum to keep working on that.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Then now I'll move back to you, Mr. Sheikh Blajil. Japan launched Made in Japan years ago as something that's durable and affordable. Are you intending to create Made in Morocco? What do you perceive as a path? For the Ministry of Industry and Trade and the CGM, they need to work together through Morocco industry, and I would like to thank them, Mr. Bashir and all of his team, for the work they are doing in order to implement the Made in Morocco brand. The COVID crisis, as we say, we need to create a brand made in Morocco, or label made in Morocco. I still remember how Moroccans used to make packages in order to export products abroad and write the word made in Morocco by hand. Today we see Moroccan industry even put a Moroccan flag next to made in Morocco, and it's a pride to us all. And you mentioned the example of Japan. Why not the excellence that the Made in Morocco label will be a symbol for excellence and greatness? We have to ask, what are the criteria for having a label Made in Morocco? And it's not a label only for the Moroccan market, but also abroad, and it's something that gathers around the private, the public, and the Moroccan consumer. Thank you very much, sir. If we take an example today, the public-private sector going together to have a solid ground and move forward. We have to say that we are in agreement on everything, right? Yeah. We will have regular discussions that will enrich the public dialogue. And thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you very much, Mr. Chekin. Please, we'll give them a round of applause to our speakers, and we'll carry on with His Excellency the Minister. So we'll keep several minutes in order to have some house management, because we are talking about this Made in Morocco brand. Is it finally Made in Morocco? Does it represent how proud we are, how we overcame several challenges? We I don't know if you still remember the oranges that that had the Moroccan flag on the cartons, etc. We were very glad and very proud and happy, and I have a question. There is a ministry that we couldn't understand why the offices of talents always have the flag of the Olympics on them. That's an odd question. So, Your Excellency, you please give us your presentation, and please give him a round of applause to the minister. I'm very delighted to introduce this label of Made of Morocco. Of course, we have to give it its power and its strength, because Made in Morocco has to be a guarantee of added value, to encourage Moroccan businesses, and we chose it as a first criteria. At least 40% of production, because it has to be a substantial transformation that will be evaluated by experts in this regard. The second criteria that's very important is excellence, quality and safety standards, regulations. So you must have a technical criteria. We have a system of evaluation and substantial transformation on Moroccan territory, and we also a technical conformity with evaluations on site to check the processes of creating added value, etc. The attribution of the label, and the label will be, of course, will evolve, and we have to keep pace with it. The idea is very simple. The idea here is that today the Made in Morocco label has to be a guarantee of quality first before anything, before becoming a guarantee of quality for everybody. We have to support this mindset transformation from behind by criteria of quality that are very clear. All of that under the high patronage and guidelines of His Majesty King Mohammed VI, who works how to ensure we have sovereignty over our industry. The Made in Morocco label also allows, in general, for buyers, national ones specifically, to verify that they buy or to check that they buy Moroccan products. With this label, it will be clearer and simpler to identify the Moroccan products compared to foreign products. So it will facilitate to buy Moroccan products and know that they're Moroccan in a direct manner. And also use public financing to also encourage the private investments, and I'm very delighted to launch this label with your presence, the head of the government and everybody. Thank you, everyone, and vive Made in Morocco, or long live Made in Morocco. Thank you.
ليلة سعيدة وأحلام لذيذة مع بطانيات.
Le Made in Morocco, gage de qualité et de compétitivité et levier du développement territorial intégré.
Merci, mesdames et messieurs. Après le temps
Thank you. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to the speeches, the debates. Now it's time to move forward, and I would like you to clap for everyone who came from the private sector and participated heavily alongside the government in this moment, in this event. And now we'll launch this Made in Morocco label, and we'll have 5 conventions that will be signed in front of you and in front of the head of the government. And I would like to say on a personal note that we have a Moroccan proverb that goes, Jack of all trades, master of none. But we shall say that when we master or when we know many trades, we can master them all. We don't miss anything. And now I would like to call upon His Excellency Mr. Riyad Manzour, his colleague, the minister delegate, Kim Tidan, the head of the General Confederation of Moroccan Enterprises, as well as the head of the Moroccan Institute of Normalization, Emmanuel. The National Institute of Standardization. Please, Your Excellency, the head of the government, please come to take a picture alongside the representatives who signed these conventions. We remind you that these conventions are intended to promote the Made in Morocco label as an original brand of quality, of high quality of Moroccan industrial products. Please, go ahead.
Merci. Nous passons maintenant.
Thank you. Now we'll move to the second convention, which is related to the innovation and supporting industry and the industry. I would like to call upon the General Secretary of the Ministry of Industry and also the President of CGM, who is with us. Please go ahead, and I would like to remind you, please pay attention. Please pay attention. Please watch your steps when you get on and off the podium. Thank you.
Merci, messieurs. Nous passons maintenant.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Now we'll move to the third convention, which is between tooling, automation, and the state. And I would like to call upon the head of the Minister of the Industry, the representative, which is the Minister Delegate of the Ministry of Finance, the head of CGM, as well as the representative of Patronage.
Bravo, messieurs.
Bravo, gentlemen. We wish you every success in this convention. But now we'll move to the pharmaceutical field, and it's a convention about the distribution and production of pharmaceutical products. And now, on behalf of the Minister of Health, who couldn't make it, he's in a mission assigned to him by His Majesty on his behalf, it will be sent by the head of CGM, the General Director of the Public Institute of Public Health, as well as representative of the Federation of AFMIP, and the President of the Chemistry and Parachemistry Foundation, in the name of Innovix and the UM6P. Dear President, please join us on the podium. Thank you. Mr. Hisham Al-Habti.
C'est une convention, mesdames et messieurs, très
It's a convention that's very important because it sums up everything that has to do with innovation and creation related to the pharmaceutical area, pharmaceutical field. The objective here is to reduce costs, and also, especially when it comes to essential medications. And we remind you that it's industrial, and it also has a humanitarian aspect. Please, a round of applause. And last but not least, we've reached the final convention, which is a frame convention. Now we'll move to mobility through railways. And I would like to ask Mr. Simouni from ONCF, the National Office of Railways, to join us, as well as the Deputy Head of Cluster Morocco Trading, MIT. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, the railways are part of this path of development, and it's very important for the industrial field because it allows for better transportation. We have to hail the efforts made by Morocco in constructing several railways, especially that links Tangier to, especially the one in Tangier.
Et je demanderai maintenant, s'il vous plaît, bravo messieurs, je demanderai à tous les
Congratulations, gentlemen. I would like to ask all signatories to please join us with the head of government for a family photo, which will conclude this convention signature part of the schedule or the program, in order to confederate the efforts on mobility, innovation, pharmaceutics, and all important topics in order to improve Morocco's position on the foreign level as a strong industrial partner and stakeholder. Under your applause, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. I think we still need one more person. We need to make sure everyone is in the photo, of course.
Merci. Il faut rester là-bas, on va l'annoncer, on va l'annoncer. On annonce la visite. Il faut qu'on l'annonce. Mesdames, Messieurs, pour toutes les personnalités.
Ladies and gentlemen, and all figures with the red badge, you have the priority to get to the exposition that will take place in a few moments. And for the other invitees, you may arrive later on. And for those with the red badge, once again, you have immediate access to the exposition in order, or to the exhibit for this label, Made in Morocco. And so for tomorrow, we shall give out the trophies of the industry. For the first time, they will not be given in absentia. So please make sure that you are here tomorrow for the trophies of the industry. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.